but we are gonna hang out a little bit longer and hopefully get it out in the open right now. Morning everybody, Derek here from Badgerland Birding. Today, me and my friend Nathaniel are going to Patagonia Lake State Park, a pretty well-known, famous area, and we're looking for a Rufous-capped Warbler. So it's going to be like a 3-mile hike into the place where this bird is seen and then a 3-mile hike back out. Hopefully feeling good that we found it, but there should be a lot of other unique species to find there as well. So excited to see what we get, but it's pretty early, so I'm sure once the sun comes up and we're able to hear and see a bunch of stuff, we'll be more motivated. But right now it's a little bit of a drag, but it should be fun.
Patagonia Lake State Park was created in 1975 and offers camping, fishing, hiking, birding, and more in a scenic area of Arizona surrounded by rolling hills. As we felt more energized by the first light of the morning, we started getting excited about our first visit to the park and the new birds around the area.
We're about 8 minutes away from Patagonia Lake State Park, and there was a swallowtail kite reported here, so we're thinking a bunch of birders may be out to look for this. So it could be pretty packed, and there's a chance for rain, but hopefully we'll be able to get that warbler.
As we neared the park, Nathaniel got a surprise lifer when a greater roadrunner crossed the road.
Did you just get your lifer roadrunner on the way to Patagonia Lake State Park?
I did. I was not expecting that.
That's kind of how they are. They'll just run across the road, so gotta keep an eye out.
After spotting the roadrunner, we made our way to the trail we would be walking in order to search for the warbler.
Just got into the park and we are at the trail we need to walk for the warbler. It's a little drizzle going on, so I don't really like that. Hopefully this is as bad as it gets. We're definitely not the first people here. There's a couple other cars. Let's get on the trail and see what we can find.
We headed to the start of the trail, gathering some info from other birders and seeing some cool species along the way.
We got some info from some people who've seen the bird before about kind of where to go, and that was really helpful. And I'm pretty sure we have some Mexican ducks out here, so we're gonna have to confirm later. But I think that might be some Mexican ducks.
We quickly realized just how beautiful of a location this was, with views over a pond and a remote-feeling woodland. In the woods, we spotted a bird that was a lifer for both of us, the thick-billed kingbird.
Thick-billed kingbird. Patagonia lifer. Awesome.
The thick-billed kingbird is an aptly named gray-backed bird with a white throat, dull yellow stomach and undertail, and thick black bill. They are most often seen in areas with water and cottonwood or sycamore trees and will perch up, giving their squeaky vocalizations. Thick-billed kingbirds are found in Central America and first appeared in the United States in the 1950s and have slowly expanded their range in the US. They feed mostly on insects, often catching prey in midair before returning to their perch. Nesting occurs high up in trees, and nests are cup-shaped.
Just got our life for thick-billed kingbird and nice views of a phainopepla. This place is incredible. It's nice and quiet in here. It feels like, you know, we're the only people around. One thing our friend Chris did say is sometimes cougars stalk people in here, so that didn't make us feel great, so we're keeping an eye out for that. We saw a gray fox, tons of Bell's vireos, vermilion flycatcher. So this place is just loaded with cool birds.
We wanted to reach the end of the trail as quickly as possible, in hopes that the warbler would be more active in calling earlier in the morning. However, it was impossible not to get distracted by the birds and other wildlife in the park.
In the woods behind us here, we actually have a skunk that's just hanging out and foraging. So we're definitely going to give it its space, just get some views from afar and keep going. But I feel like this place really does feel just super wild. Like, who knows what you could stumble upon in here.
After checking out the skunk, we continued on the muddy and wet path, which split and meandered through the woods and along a creek, making it difficult to tell if we were going the right way. During our trek, we also met a few friends of the program, birders from Texas, Caden and Eric, who were also hoping to see the Rufous-capped Warbler. We decided to combine our efforts and continued down the trail.
We met up with some other birders and we kind of hightailed it to the spot just because it's like a 3-mile hike in, so we were getting pretty distracted, so we wanted to get to the warbler spot as quick as possible. And I think we're close to it, but it's like a pretty big area. Somebody gave me like a start point, kind of like an end point. So we're walking there listening for any noises it might make and hoping that'll come out for us. It's definitely humid in here, buggy, everything's kind of wet. I think it rained, there's dew on the ground, but it'll all be worth it if we can find the Rufous-capped Warbler.
Eventually, we reached the Warbler spot, marked by an open clearing with some big trees and many thick-billed kingbirds. It didn't take long until we heard the wren-like calling of the Rufous-capped Warbler. However, it seemed reluctant to move into the open, yet would seemingly call from a different place every so often, despite us not seeing it relocate. What made it even more difficult was a plethora of other yellow birds in the area, making us excited for a second, only to realize that we were seeing something more common. While watching the vegetation, a common ground dove flew in and perched in a tree, giving us great views of this normally extremely skittish species. Eventually, with a lot of patience, we spotted the Rufous-capped Warbler flitting around in the trees. It was only for a couple of seconds, but we were all super stoked about seeing our target bird, hoping that we would get better views if we just waited a little bit longer.
Brief glimpses, but at least you got them.
Yeah, we got him.
Yeah, you guys think we'll get better looks?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, we got the Rufous-capped Warbler. It was some really brief views. We were basically like chasing it back and forth because we would hear it and it would go over there and then it'd be over here, but we couldn't see it. And then eventually we saw it just briefly enough to get the ID features in. We heard it really clearly. So it's drizzling a little bit. We had a common ground dove perch up really nice. But we are gonna hang out a little bit longer and hopefully get it out in the open right now. Boys, that was awesome.
That was awesome. He came right out in the open for us finally.
We just had to wait him out.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Good view?
Better view than the 5 millisecond view I had before.
Yeah,
Wait
we
for you
just
to do the
needed
intro.
to make
You
him
just
think
had
we
to tell
weren't
him
paying
about the
attention.
picture.
Like,
There he pulls up
he wants
immediately.
to be on YouTube too.
The Rufous-capped Warbler is a small, energetic bird with a long tail, white eyebrow and mustache line, chestnut-colored cap, black eye line, and yellow throat. They can be found in Central America and occasionally in select areas of the United States, including Texas and Arizona, normally near running water. Rufous-capped warblers are quite skulky and prefer to inhabit areas with thick brush. They make buzzy vocalizations and can sometimes be heard but not seen, acting similar to wrens rather than warblers. Their diet is mostly composed of insects and arachnids.
Finally got the Rufous-capped Warbler views we've been wanting. Incredible bird, super skulky. Someone said it acts a lot like a wren, and that's very true. It'll kind of just like be in the brush and then it'll pop out just for a few seconds and you'll hear it, but you won't see it. So I'm really glad we waited, got those epic views. This has been an incredible day, incredible place with Patagonia. You pumped?
Very pumped.
You guys pumped?
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
it was
awesome.
great. It was fun.
Great
That was
looks,
nice.
pictures, audio.
The slam dunk.
Yeah, very cool bird.
Extremely pleased with our views, we started heading back to the parking lot and had some great looks at two more interesting birds.
As we were walking out, we had great looks at a Lucy's warbler, and also that cuckoo that we were hearing earlier finally popped out and we got a view of that. So we are getting some views of some more elusive species like the Rufous-capped, now the cuckoo. So who knows what else we might find on the way back.
After checking out the warbler and the cuckoo, we continued our trek back, taking more time to enjoy the diversity of wildlife after having seen our target bird. Some highlights included a flyover zone-tailed hawk, a beautiful male vermilion flycatcher, a flitting warbling vireo, and an acrobatic dusky-capped flycatcher eating a dragonfly. The dusky-capped flycatcher is an Arizona specialty species in the summer, and looks similar to a smaller ash-throated flycatcher. They are cavity nesters that feed mostly on insects and berries. We continued walking back to the parking lot, and finally made it, feeling exhausted but accomplished after our 6-mile round-trip hike to find the Rufous-capped Warbler.
Just got back to the car, great time hanging out with our new friends, seeing that warbler. And on the way back, we had a dusky cap flycatcher perch up and some other cool finds. Really happy with the experience we got. It was definitely a lot of work, but it was definitely worth it to see that bird. Patagonia Lake State Park is an incredibly beautiful and species-rich area with so much to do and so many species to find. It's a must-visit destination if you find yourself in Arizona. With a little patience and luck, you may also be able to see some of the rare species that call this place home. Have you ever been to Patagonia Lake State Park? What did you think of it? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.